convince her head coach to challenge.
Calm down. You got it out.
Angel Reese yesterday for her Unrivaled team, the Rose Basket. She had her worst, what can be described as her worst professional basketball game. Angel Reese, that's right.
In the electrifying world of women's basketball, few names ignite debate and draw attention quite like Angel Reese. From her college triumphs to her entry into the Unrivaled League, Reese has consistently been a figure of both admiration and controversy. Known for her undeniable talent on the court and her equally assertive personality off it, she's carved out a niche as a player who doesn't shy away from the spotlight or from speaking her mind. But recently, the line between passionate competitiveness and outright disruption seems to have blurred. It's no secret that Angel thrives under pressure, often using perceived slights and rivalries as fuel for her game. However, the latest series of events suggests a shift, a moment where her fiery spirit may have veered into problematic territory. While sideline spats and heated exchanges are part of the game, what transpired last week felt different, more intense, and perhaps a step too far. It wasn't just a disagreement with an opponent or a reaction to a tough call. This time, the target of her visible frustration was someone within her own camp, someone meant to be a source of guidance and support, her head coach. This explosive confrontation has ignited a firestorm of discussion, raising questions about her leadership, her temperament, and ultimately, her future impact on the league. And amidst this swirling controversy, a contrasting narrative has quietly emerged, a story of understated excellence and rising prominence embodied by her teammate Lexi Hull. Could this be more than just a fleeting moment of sideline drama? Could this be a sign of a fundamental shift in the Unrivaled landscape, a changing of the guard where Angel Reese's established dominance is challenged, not by an external rival, but from within her own team? Let's dissect the unfolding drama and explore whether Angel Reese has indeed crossed a line and what this means for the future of Unrivaled basketball.
Reese brings up
She's going to dribble down the court. And she's going to pick up the ball. Wait, and start trying to dribble again. What are you doing now? What just happened? Did you just blatantly dribble?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at Lexi. Lexi out here cooking. Go ahead, give it to her, Lexi. Bang that thing. Come on, man. We been said it. Hey, get Lexi involved, man. Get Lexi involved. Look at that. Going in, fam.
The tension in the arena was palpable that night, thick enough to cut with a knife. Every possession felt critical, every call scrutinized under the intense glare of the lights and the watchful eyes of the fans. Then the whistle blew. Foul against Angel Reese. Now in the heat of competition, disagreements with referees are commonplace, even expected. But what followed transcended the usual sideline grumbling. This wasn't a calm discussion or a frustrated shake of the head. This was an eruption. Imagine the scene. Angel, her face contorted in visible anger, turning her fury not outwards but inwards towards her own coaching staff. Her head coach, attempting to de-escalate the situation, stepped in, likely offering words of advice, perhaps urging composure. But instead of heeding the counsel, Angel's reaction was to amplify the drama tenfold. Eyewitness accounts and sideline microphones captured the intensity of the exchange. Shouts, pointed fingers, and a body language that screamed defiance. You could almost feel the shockwaves rippling through the arena as viewers witnessed this unprecedented display of player-coach conflict play out in real time. The coach's attempts to calm down the situation, clearly audible in the broadcast, seemed to only exacerbate Angel's agitation. She appeared to be locked in a cycle of escalating frustration, her behavior mirroring that of someone completely losing control. The term spoiled brat, while harsh, began to circulate in online discussions, reflecting the perception of a player seemingly unwilling to accept accountability or guidance, even from those ostensibly on her side. This wasn't just about a foul call anymore, it became a stark illustration of a potential leadership breakdown, a moment where the pressures of the game seemed to overwhelm even a seasoned competitor like Angel Reese.
And if you need her for that wide open three, she can hit it. She can hit it, man. She's a 3-and-D hustling type of player. Very important to the Fever, very important to the Rose, man. And I don't know what the coach was on, but everybody was like, bro, Why aren't y'all playing Lexi? She didn't even play for 10 minutes out of 2 games. It was ridiculous. I'm glad they finally allowed Lexi Hull to come on the court.
One thing she needs to work on, and of course you're not going to be objective, is she needs to stop complaining after every call.
In the aftermath of the on-court explosion, a curious narrative began to emerge. One centered around the seemingly impressive numbers Angel Reese had posted in the very game where the meltdown occurred. A double-double 20 points and 20 rebounds in any basketball context is generally lauded as a benchmark of high performance, a testament to a player's all-around contribution. However, a deeper dive into the statistical reality of Reese's performance revealed a far more nuanced and frankly less flattering picture. The truth, as sharp-eyed analysts and commentators quickly pointed out, lay in the quality of those rebounds. Many weren't the result of tenacious box-outs or aggressive pursuit of loose balls against opponents. Instead, a significant portion of her rebound tally stemmed from her own errant shots. The unflattering yet increasingly apt moniker Angel the Bricklayer started gaining traction online, encapsulating the emerging perception of a player whose scoring efficiency was plummeting. The missed layups in particular became a focal point of criticism. Layups, often considered fundamental high-percentage shots, were consistently bouncing off the rim, becoming rebounds ripe for the taking by none other than the shooter herself. This created a statistical anomaly, inflating her rebound numbers while simultaneously highlighting a glaring deficiency in her offensive game. It was a paradoxical situation, a double-double achieved not through dominance but arguably through inefficiency. The implication was clear. While the raw numbers might suggest a strong performance at first glance, the context painted a different story, one of struggling fundamentals and a reliance on quantity over quality. And as Angel grappled with these fundamental issues in her own game,
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Angel Reese, you turned this into a circus? A clown show.
Let's just look at some of the plays. The hustle play. Boom. Look at that. Giving you the hustle. Rebounding. As we all know, she cut to the rim. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful work. Going to work down there on Vandersloot. Come on, man.
wrestled with her own game, seemingly trapped in a cycle of missed opportunities and self-inflicted statistical padding. A contrasting story of quiet efficiency and impactful play was unfolding on the very same court. Enter Lexi Hull. Often starting on the bench, playing limited minutes, Lexi had been, to many observers, an underutilized asset for her team. But in that particular game, presented with a precious window of opportunity, she seized the moment with both hands. In a mere 10 minutes of playing time, a fraction of the minutes afforded to the team's established stars, Lexi erupted for a staggering 19 points. This wasn't just any 19 points, it was a showcase of basketball precision and impactful scoring. She wasn't forcing shots, she was creating opportunities, moving with purpose, and capitalizing on every chance she got. Each basket felt earned, each play contributing directly to her team's momentum. Unlike the labored and often frantic style of play becoming associated with Angel Reese, Lexi's game was characterized by fluidity, smart decision-making, and an undeniable scoring touch. The crowd, initially perhaps focused on the drama and spectacle surrounding Reese, began to shift their attention, drawn in by the undeniable effectiveness of Hull's performance. The energy in the arena started to subtly change, replaced by a growing buzz of excitement and appreciation for this previously unsung player. Social media feeds lit up with praise for Lexi, with fans and analysts alike questioning why she hadn't been given more prominent roles earlier. The narrative began to shift from the controversy surrounding one player to the ascendance of another, from the drama of the struggling star to the brilliance of the rising hero. And the growing recognition of Lexi's talent inevitably drew comparisons and whispers about a certain shared connection.
But how much revenue is she generating? How many tickets has Angel Reese sold? How much merchandise is she selling? How many people are watching Unrivaled, waiting with anticipation to see Angel Reese miss another layup? According to their ratings, it's around 190,000. That is nowhere near enough to make this league profitable.
Yes, that's Angel Reese screaming, and that's her head coach that you can audibly hear saying, "Calm down."
And that shared connection, the one that began to subtly permeate the conversation surrounding Lexi Hull's sudden surge in prominence, was her well-known bond with none other than Caitlin Clark. College teammates, close friends, and two halves of a dynamic duo that had previously captivated the basketball world, Lexi and Caitlin share a history that runs deep. While Caitlin Clark's name is now synonymous with record-breaking scoring and unparalleled offensive firepower, those who followed their college careers closely knew that Lexi Hull was far more than just a supporting player. She was the versatile glue, the defensive anchor, the player who did all the little things that contribute to winning basketball. And now, witnessing Lexi's impressive performances in Unrivaled, some began to speculate if she was perhaps quietly unleashing elements of her game previously overshadowed by Clark's dominant presence. Was she drawing upon shared training methodologies, subtle on-court communication cues, or even a similar basketball IQ honed alongside one of the game's brightest stars? The highlights of Lexi's game began to reveal glimpses of this potential connection. The effortless transition threes, the sharp anticipatory passes, the relentless hustle on defense, these weren't just random flashes of brilliance, they hinted at a fundamentally sound, highly skilled player operating at a new level of confidence and execution. The nickname Lexi Hulk, playfully bestowed by fans, captured the sense of unleashed power and unexpected dominance she was now exhibiting. It was as if, stepping out of the shadow, Lexi Hull was finally revealing her full potential, showcasing skills honed and refined, perhaps in part alongside her celebrated teammate. But this burgeoning narrative of Lexi's rise only served to sharpen the contrast with the increasingly troubled trajectory of Angel Reese.
The absolute best part about Unrivaled Day 4 were the 10 minutes that Lexi Hull played.
The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups. Period.
Layups? Bang! What do you mean? She's our double-double queen! Bang! What they say, if it's broke, don't fix it! Bang! Teaching Angel Reese to make a layup is like teaching an old dog a new trick.
But this burgeoning narrative of Lexi's rise only served to sharpen the contrast with the increasingly troubled trajectory of Angel Reese. If the coach confrontation and the statistically dubious double-double were low points, what transpired in the subsequent game felt like a descent into a new level of on-court adversity. In a matchup against her own unrivaled team, Rose Basket, Angel Reese delivered a performance so riddled with errors, so devoid of her usual spark that it was almost painful to watch. And at the heart of this disastrous outing was an incident that transcended mere missed shots or turnovers. It was a moment of fundamental basketball breakdown, a play so basic, so ingrained in the muscle memory of any seasoned player that its failure was not just surprising, it was utterly bewildering. The double dribble. Captured on camera, replayed in slow motion, dissected and analyzed ad nauseum across social media, the double dribble became the defining symbol of Angel Reese's game that night. Imagine the scenario: possessing the ball, dribbling down the court, picking up the dribble to assess the play, and then inexplicably, instinctively, dribbling again, a violation so elementary, so clearly defined in the rules of the game, committed by a player at the professional level. The silence that followed was deafening. Commentators stammered, attempting to fill the void of disbelief. The crowd gasped, a collective intake of breath as they processed the sheer improbability of what they had just witnessed. It wasn't just a mistake, it was a momentary lapse in fundamental skill, a public display of basketball amnesia. The visual was stark. Angel momentarily frozen in place, the ball bouncing awkwardly at her feet, the weight of the error etched across her face, and the coach, watching from the sideline, finally made the decisive move. Enough was enough. The bench beckoned, and in a move that spoke volumes, the player chosen to replace her, the player entrusted to salvage the game, was Lexi Hull. The message was unmistakable. As Lexi stepped onto the court, ready to inject energy and competence, Angel retreated to the sidelines, the double dribble incident serving as a stark and public punctuation mark on a game, and perhaps a season, spiraling downwards.
People thought, Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch nothing. The boil on Caitlin Clark's ass, Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layup?
Ball's being put into her by Chelsea Gray, who sees it immediately. That was a good job by Chelsea Gray. She puts the ball right into Angel Reese. Catch. Boom. She misses the layup. They get called for a foul. She should never miss that layup.
And as Lexi Hull continued to ascend, solidifying her role as a key contributor and fan favorite, the narrative surrounding Angel Reese increasingly shifted from one of on-court struggles to deeper questions about her overall impact, both on her team and on the Unrivaled League itself. The initial allure of Angel Reese, the player who embraced the villain role, who thrived on controversy, and who brought a certain undeniable star power, began to wane. The drama, once perceived as captivating, started to feel less like entertainment and more like a distraction, detracting from the core product, competitive basketball. Even her most ardent supporters began to express a sense of unease, a growing concern that the off-court antics and on-court frustrations were overshadowing her actual athletic abilities. The statistics painted a stark picture. The two lowest-rated games in the entire Unrivaled season were games prominently featuring Angel Reese. This wasn't just a matter of personal performance, it was impacting viewership, fan engagement, and potentially the long-term viability of the league itself. The question began to circulate. Was Angel Reese, once touted as a potential draw, actually becoming a liability? Her sideline confrontations, her mocking gestures towards opponents, her increasingly visible displays of frustration and negativity, these actions, initially perhaps seen as part of her brand, were now being scrutinized under a harsher light. The coach confrontation, the mocking victory calls, the persistent negativity, these accumulated incidents painted a picture of a player whose attitude was becoming increasingly difficult to defend. The villain persona, initially embraced with a degree of playful defiance, now seemed to be morphing into something less controlled, less performative, and perhaps more genuinely detrimental. Was this carefully crafted image of the bad girl actually backfiring, eroding fan support, and ultimately undermining her own career trajectory?
Lexi Hull came in off the bench. 10 minutes of play. She did all of this damage in 10 minutes of play. Now, she finished the game with 19 points. She had the most points on the team.
So, as we stand at this pivotal juncture in the Unrivaled season, the contrasting trajectories of Angel Reese and Lexi Hull present a compelling and perhaps cautionary tale. On one hand, we witness the ascendance of Lexi Hull, a player whose quiet dedication, fundamental skill, and team-first approach are resonating deeply with fans and analysts alike. She embodies the classic underdog narrative, rising from the bench to become a key player, capturing hearts with her performance, not her theatrics. On the other hand, we see Angel Reese, a player who once seemed poised to dominate, now grappling with on-court struggles, attitude questions, and a potentially shifting public perception. The initial spark, the controversial charisma that propelled her into the spotlight, now appears to be flickering, threatened by a combination of self-inflicted wounds and the undeniable rise of a more grounded, perhaps more sustainable star. The future of Unrivaled in some ways hangs in the balance. Will the league continue to lean into drama and controversy, hoping that the spectacle surrounding Angel Reese, however turbulent, will continue to draw viewers? Or will the narrative shift towards celebrating on-court excellence and team-oriented play, embracing the understated brilliance of players like Lexi Hull? Can Angel Reese find a way to recalibrate, to channel her competitive fire in a more constructive direction and recapture the form and focus that once made her a dominant force? Or is this the beginning of a new era in Unrivaled, an era where Lexi Hull, not Angel Reese, becomes the defining face of the league? The answers, as always, will unfold on the court, but the questions themselves are compelling and the implications for the future of Unrivaled basketball are significant. What do you foresee? Is Angel Reese capable of a comeback, or is Lexi Hull destined to lead the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. The conversation is just getting started.